Hi everyone, I'm Vidisha Rai. I am a second year here at San Jose State. I am a communication studies major with a minor in political science. I hope to go into human rights activism, and this class has taught me so much about the underrepresented minority group of people with disabilities and how much we don't talk about it. And I want to introduce my friend Stephanie, and she's going to tell you more about herself.
My name is Stephanie Faso. I have been a student at San Jose State since 2013, and I am so happy to be graduating this May with honors and a 3.9 GPA. I am excited to say that I have been earning my bachelor's degree in communication studies with an area of focus in intercultural communication and minoring in sociology. I'm planning on earning my master's in communication studies, specializing in cultural communication of people with physical and communicative disabilities. My plan is improving lives of people who have disabilities with their autonomy, independence, and sense of self. I have been very dedicated to my studies, for which I complete my assignments and class readings by spending 5 to 12 hours every day. I have a diagnosis of severe athetoid quadriplegia cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is an umbrella term where the brain gets damaged before, during, and after the birth that affects muscle tone and movements. Athetoid means having involuntary movements, having no balance, having mixed muscle tone, and having a tough time to sit in an upright position without support. Severe implies that I have minimal gross, fine, oral, facial, and head-neck motor abilities that impact my personal care needs, and quadriplegia is that my arms and legs are affected. Since I have severe athetoid quadriplegia cerebral palsy, I have to work twice as hard as students without disabilities in order to keep my grades up. When I am not working on my assignments, I volunteer to work with students with physical and communicative disabilities. Recently, I received Hero Role Model from the City of San Jose, and soon I am going to be honored as the Volunteer of the Year of Santa Clara County Office of Education since I have been volunteering since 2009. Again, my name is Stephanie Faso, and I am so happy to be here.
So, Stephanie, can you tell us about how you have felt discriminated against when it comes to your peers and your fellow students?
That is a good question. Ever since I was a young child, my peers have been so uncertain how to interact with me. When I was a child, my peers tried to avoid interacting with me, like sometimes they invited everybody to the parties, except for me. They spoke about it in front of me, as if I am not able to hear them nor have cognitive abilities to comprehend what they were saying. It mirrors that misconception of people with complex physical and speech disabilities are unable to hear nor think on their own, which it recreates in our societal structure. I understand they were just children, but they must have picked it up from the adults somewhere. So, as you adults need to communicate to the children as well as adults that all types of abilities matter and make integrating with people with disabilities and those who do not have disabilities become a part of one's life. When I was in high school, I went to prom with a friend. We went with a group of friends, and when we went to eat out for a dinner before the prom, my friend ignored me the whole time. Ignoring me is a product of the society's attitude that people who have disabilities are less valuable. You can alter the attitude that people with disabilities who are seen as less valuable by seeing your students with disabilities as having value. You also can collaborate with students who have disabilities respectfully. If you all alter your perception of people with disabilities as more valued, the culture of San Jose State would be more accepting toward students with disabilities. The society's attitudes must change from somewhere, definitely. Luckily, I have not had significant issues at San Jose State.
And typically when people first meet you, first see you, what are their initial reactions?
When people first meet me, they are not sure how much I understand. Since there is a misconception that people who have disabilities are not capable to think, people treat me slow when they first meet me. Sometimes people overpronounce what they say, with a high pitch, and everything they say is slow, as if I am 2 years old. Whatever they say is so simple. For example, they ask me, "Are you having fun, honey?" They have not met me usually, but they feel that they have a right to patronize me and call me honey. People also pet my hair or head, like they would do with an animal. I feel that people view those who have disabilities as not even human. If strangers go up to those without disabilities, pet their hair and call them honey, it would not be considered socially acceptable. However, if people do that to those who have disabilities, it is considered as a product of arrogance, which is acceptable to not know what to do when they meet people who have disabilities. Also, men who do not know me call me his girlfriend. In fact, a year ago, when I was at a Spartan football game with my family and friends, and a random guy said, "Yeah, you are my girlfriend. Can you be my girlfriend?" Everyone got irritated with him, but he did not get a clue. Again, if a man would call a young lady his girlfriend, it would be considered not normal, and it'd be wise for those ladies to file a sexual harassment report on them. But if men call young ladies with disabilities girlfriend, it is likely to be discarded as being arrogant. Another way people respond to me when they first meet me is people prey on me because they believe I have disabilities from my parents' sins. They see my disabilities as a negative thing, rather than a blessing. I feel frustrated that they assume my disabilities are from sins, and they should not judge, especially when they don't know me. If people just prey on others without disabilities who they don't know, I think they would think twice before praying. But it would be considered as they do not know the anatomy behind disabilities. The double standard of how people respond to those with disabilities and people without disabilities when they first meet is quite ridiculous. This double standard reflects that society does not hold the same expectations when meeting those who have disabilities. Be mindful of your students who have disabilities when you initially meet them, and note whether you hold different expectations for your students with disabilities and students who don't have disabilities. Notice too whether how your response toward your student who have disabilities differs from your students without disabilities.
Thank you so much for sharing, Stephanie, your personal experiences. I feel like I've learned so much from you, and I really want to thank you.
What you do see on the screen right now is Stephanie's tablet, and this is how she communicates with people. So if you have any further questions about that, you can feel free to ask her about that later.
This question is for Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. I'm just curious if there was something in your life when you were young that left a positive influence on you that made you become such the strong, independent young lady that you are. If there was a role model or a teacher or a mentor that helped shape your viewpoint of life.
I have. Very. Supportive. Mother. Sister. And grandma, who taught me how to be strong lady. My mother has been an elementary school teacher. So she knows my rights. As a student. So she's been advocating with me to get a fair education dash I could go on and on until but we don't have time. Well, good question. I have very supportive mother, sister and grandma who taught me how to be strong lady. My mother has been an elementary school teacher, so she knows my rights as a student. So she's been advocating with me to get a fair education. I could go on and on, but we don't have time.
Thank you for that wonderful response, Stephanie.